Hello once again, and welcome to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock, and today is going to be our indoor track and field season preview episode, and joining me to do so, head coach David Sanders. Coach, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, as we know, in the past we've had indoor seasons, but this is actually the first official season for IUEs. Tell us a little bit about why that is.
It's a little different just because we're doing a lot more meets. Before in the past, we just basically had one or two meets to try to get us ready for the outdoor season. But this year, we're adding a lot more. I think we have 6 meets on tap for us this year. But the biggest difference is the indoor label. So basically what happened last year was one of our girls qualified for nationals. She hit the qualifying time for indoor nationals, but she couldn't go because we weren't officially indoor. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that was the first thing I did. I called the athletic director and was like, hey, we need to do this, and we got that. So hopefully we can send that same girl and plus a couple more to indoor nationals this year.
All right. What's it like? What's the difference, I guess, between indoor and outdoor?
Obviously, there's a big difference. The glaring difference is one's indoor, one outdoor. But indoor, it's a little harder as far as the times. People usually run a little bit slower times just because outdoors, the track is a lot faster. But indoor, it's more curves. You have to, on a 200-meter track, obviously it's 2 laps to make the 1 lap for outdoor, so obviously that's going to slow you down a little bit. But that's about the biggest difference. And obviously you can't do some meets or some events that you do outdoor, indoors. It's just safety hazards and stuff like that. But the biggest difference is just a little bit more time just because of the 2 laps instead of 1 lap outdoors.
And how can the athletes try to compensate for that lost time? Just harder training, or how do they do that?
You can't really do anything. That's just the way of the beast. That's just the way of the beast. So indoors, a 200-meter track. So you have to run 2 laps to the 1. Mm-hmm. So obviously more laps or more curves, the slower you're going to be.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the season. Your thoughts on the upcoming season?
Oh, we're excited. I haven't been this excited in a group since I've been here, obviously. It's been a short amount of time, but I think that everyone's putting in the hard work. Everyone's doing exactly what they need to do, which is a big thing. This hasn't always been like this in the past. In the past, we had people coming and going, but this year everyone's 100% locked in, and they've been putting in a lot of work, and we've been gone for a while. We've been putting in work since the end of September. Mm-hmm. And for it to finally be here, I think everyone's getting a little anxious and antsy a little bit, and they're just ready to put their spikes on and get out there. But like I said, as a coach, I'm excited about this group because I feel like we do have a lot of athletes, a couple athletes who has that potential to make it to indoor nationals. So the work ethic is there with as a whole with this group. Now we just have to go out there and when the bright lights are on and see what happens.
Tell our viewers a little bit about how you've had the team training to get ready for this season.
Like I said, we've been going since the end of September, and 4 days a week, pretty much all the way through. We started off lifting 3 days a week, and we kind of tapered down now. Now we're lifting 1 day a week. But we're getting after it. We have to practice in the morning time, but that's a good thing because no one has any excuses. I don't want to hear any of that. If you're not there, it's because you're not there. Right. And that's something that kind of helping us out a lot. If you're at 6 o'clock in the morning, you can come in, knock it out. You usually get a lift in and get a nice running workout in. And then you have the rest of your day to relax and recuperate and get ready for the next day. And that's something that, as a group, I love it. They come in every morning ready to go. Sometimes I have to shake them and wake them up a little bit, but that's fine too. You're gonna have to take your bruises with that. But for the most part, they come in every day and they're just ready. They're just ready to go, and that's what you can ask for as a coach. And I'm proud of my guys and my girls for that.
All right, we'll talk a little bit about the groups of runners coming up here in a little bit, but who are some of the runners that you expect the most out of this winter?
Obviously, like I said, you can't go wrong with our Mr. Everything, Clint Swanson. He had a good couple years. This is his senior year, and he's ready to break out. We have a couple freshmen on the guys and girls side who's ready to break out, but we'll talk about them a little later. On the girls side, Trisha, who I talked about a little earlier, who qualified for nationals, and unfortunately we weren't indoor qualified, so hopefully she'll have another big year. She'll be a sophomore for just that group, my group of jumpers, Trisha Spivey, Autumn Can, and Mackenzie Bowles. Those are, I call them my trio. I mean, that's some people, or three girls who just bring it every day. They show up ready to go every day, and but everyone as a whole, I'm just excited for everyone. I don't want to single anyone out, but like I said, you asked that question, so I had to. but I'm excited for everyone. I mean, it's going to be a good showing for us on Saturday, and I think we're going to be ready to go.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look ahead at your schedule for this winter, and we'll go ahead and start with the December 3rd meet that you're talking about at 4 o'clock, travel to the University of Indianapolis.
I mean, that's going to be a good one. Like I said, some good competition level there. It's a good first meet for us. Anytime you can go to a NCAA Division II university, I mean, that's going to be big time for you. You're going to face some good talent, but there's also going to be some teams there that we can compete with and we can push, and people are just going to be faster because of that. I mean, track is a sport where no matter who you're going against, fast is fast. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's something that we're not going to shy away from the big dogs. That's something that helps us once we get to conference and things like that.
All right, the next one on the schedule comes up on December 10th at 1:30 at Indiana Tech, the Warrior Invitational. Tell us about that one.
I mean, in the past, even last year, we'll talk a little bit about last year, we've only done one meet before we broke for Christmas break. But this year I wanted to do two meets just because, I mean, that one meet, it was just like a little teaser for everyone. They were ready to go, but then we come in, we off for a month, and we have to go home and all this stuff. So I definitely want to do two meets. This is during finals week, so it's going to be a little tough as far as getting all the athletes there, because like I said, we practice in the morning, getting them there and ready to go, because I mean, they have other things going on. But I mean, that's something that we definitely wanted to do. And going to Indiana Tech, who's NAI powerhouse. I mean, they win. They have great teams year in and year out, and it's going to be great competition there. But like I talked about the UND meet, someone that can push us a little bit and make our guys and girls go a little faster, jump a little higher, throw a little further. So, I mean, that's something that I would definitely wanted to do, and I'm glad that we can get them on the schedule. This is actually their first indoor meet, or first meet that they hosted, so I mean, that's something cool to be a part of. So that's right. Me and Coach Edgar, we go way back, so it's great to be a part of that.
All right, looking forward to that one. Next up on the schedule, January 27th at 5 p.m., IU East at the Trine Don and Riley Zimmer Indoor Classic. You set 2 indoor school records at the 2016 meet. Just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. It's a nice track, fast track, and they're a very up-and-coming Division III program. It's going to be good talent there. Last year, like I said, it was really good team. We got back really late. That's one thing I vividly remember. We got back really, really late during that meet, but that's going to be a good meet for us. It's going to be good teams from all divisions. And, I mean, we're just going at it, and they have a really, really nice facility, really nice track, and it should be a fun one. I mean, that's something like you said, the 2 records last year. We have another opportunity to go and try to set some more records.
All right, next on the schedule will be on February 4th, an all-day meet at the Midwest Classic. Tell us what to expect there.
Indiana Wesleyan, they're always close, but we never, ever went to a indoor meet there. Mm-hmm. This is our first chance to go to an indoor meet there. Like you know, Indiana Wesleyan, they have very, very nice facilities, and we're just excited to be able to go and do an indoor meet. I know outdoor, they always treat us well. They do a good job of hosting the meet and running the meets. So we're just excited about that. It just never kind of worked out with the schedules, but we're excited about going down there, and we have a good relationship with their coaching staff, and we're just ready to get down there and get to it.
All right, moving on to the next one on February 11th at 10:30 in the morning, IU East at the Taylor Trojan Invitational.
David Neville, he's obviously an Olympic gold medalist. He's the head coach down at Taylor. I think this is second year, same as me. We kind of came in together. We kind of been talking a lot and developed a good relationship. Mm-hmm. So that's something that anytime he has a meet or anything like that, I'm gonna try to go to, just because we wanna learn from. He's obviously a gold medalist. I can try to pick his brain and learn as much as I can from him, because right. He's doing something right.
Right.
So that's something that we wanted to do. That's something that we actually tried to go to a meet last year at Taylor. It was an outdoor meet, but it got canceled because of the weather. And so this will be our first meet going down there. So I just, like I said, want to pick the brain of a gold medalist.
Right. And the final one on the schedule on February 25th, another all-day meet at the Anderson Fred Wilt Invitational. Coach, tell us what we can see there. That's
a meet that we always went to ever since I was running. The one indoor meet that we did when I was running, that's the one that we went to. And I'm a firm believer in sticking with the same, as much as we can, sticking with the same schedule. And they've always treated us right. Always. So that's something that we're going to continue to go to. We usually have pretty good days when we go down there. Anytime we can go down to Anderson, we have pretty good days. So I'm not going to break that tradition. That's something that we're going to stick with, and hopefully, as long as they have it, we'll continue to go there.
All right, and hopefully another trip to nationals on the schedule as well, right?
Yeah, like I talked about, this will be the first trip. If we have some qualifiers, that's a big if. I don't want to pencil it in, but we have some talented athletes who can really make a mark, and we'll talk about those a little later. But we definitely have some athletes that can do a lot of different things, and hopefully we have a couple national qualifiers, and I think that's the first week of March, right in there. So hopefully we can go down to Tennessee and make some noise.
All right, looking forward to it. Coming up, we'll talk about who some of those athletes are right here on Inside IU Sports.
What if a home phone could also be a smartphone? And what if that home phone could save you money on your home and wireless bill at the same time? With Xfinity Voice, you get amazing technology like readable voicemail on your smartphone, caller ID on your TV, and even text messaging, all for a low price. Start saving with unlimited nationwide talk and text, and switch to Xfinity Voice for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Almost done.
Now you can pay your bill, manage your appointments, and check your connection status. Anytime, anywhere.
Oh, so you're protesting? Okay.
Introducing Xfinity My Account, available on any device.
Life can sometimes be chaotic. And with small children, it can be difficult to get to the doctor.
Hi, Mrs. Towns. How are you doing?
I have a sick little boy right here. I think he might have an ear infection.
With Read Health Now virtual visits, you don't even need to leave your home.
I'll send in a prescription for him.
Quick, easy, convenient.
I don't want to take the kids out today.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Read Health, right beside you, right now.
And welcome back. Before we went to the break, I was talking with track and field head coach David Sanders about his outlook on this season, as well as some of the talent that he has on the team coming up this winter. And now it's time to go through and break those down group by group. We'll go ahead and start with the women's side. Just tell us who some of your standouts are as far as the women's sprinters are.
Women's sprinters, Autumn Brown, she's Covenant Christian. She's a state qualifier last year in the 400. But she has a big range. She can go 100 all the way up to the 400. She's someone that to keep an eye out for. I think that she has a talent to do some good things and hopefully qualify for nationals. Sarah Mallory, she's another standout that we have. She's from Winchester. I think she's been working hard. She's a workaholic. I mean, she loves the hard work. She comes in every day with her hard hat on, ready to go. So she's been putting in all the work to get to where she is. So hopefully she'll see the results. We have multiple girls that's redshirting for us this year. Mel Grimes, Jocelyn Davis, and Shania Beaver. Those are 3 redshirt sprinters that we have that put in a lot of work, and next year they're going to see big results. Tori Hampton, she's someone who just works. I mean, she might cry about it a little bit, but that's a little inside joke with her, but she's going to work, and she's going to get a lot better. So on the women's side, and Alicia Hollinger, I can't forget about Alicia. She's our hurdler, and she's been fighting some injuries, but I mean she's coming back stronger, and she'll run this Saturday.
All right. How about the women's distance runners?
Distance runners, I mean you're gonna headline them with Alicia or Ashley Touchlog and Morgan Stanley. Those were consistent runners for us this year, but I mean we have a lot of them. I mean, just people that fill in and help out. Savannah, she's gonna definitely help kind of in the mid distance to the 400 all the way up to the mile. I mean, she has a big range also, but I mean, it's a plethora of other girls that can get the job done. I mean, like I said, I don't really work too closely with the women's distance, but I know what they're capable of, and I've seen them a lot. And they're going to be ready.
All right. How about the women's jumpers?
Women's jumpers, I mentioned them earlier. My trio, Autumn Can, Trisha Spivey, and Mackenzie Bowles, they're all high jumpers. Trisha, obviously, my top high jumper, qualified for nationals indoor nationals last year, but wasn't able to go. But I'm expecting the same thing out of Trisha. Hopefully she's been fighting a little injury bug, her shins, but she's been getting better day by day and taking care of those. Autumn and Mackenzie, they've been putting in a lot of work. We've only had, like I said, a couple practices because of lack of facilities and stuff, but we've been getting after it. Autumn's been jumping really well. Mackenzie's been jumping really well. So we're pretty excited about that. And then long jump, Sarah, again, she's a long jumper. She qualified for regionals last year as a senior. So we're expecting her to have a pretty big year on the long jump. And then Mackenzie Bowles held the school record for 2 jumps until Kristen Miller broke it. But I mean, I think that she's gonna have a big year for us, both in the high jump and the long jump.
Okay, really quick, the women's throwers.
Well, it'd be really quick because there's only one of them. Kaylee Simpson, she's a trooper. She's a trooper. She comes in, she actually drives like from 30 minutes away every day to come to practice in the morning. So, I mean, and she's a nursing student, so she's a trooper. She's getting better year by year, day by day, and she's getting a lot stronger, and pretty excited about her.
All right, the men's sprinters.
Men's sprinters, always have to start with Clint Swanson, like I talked about earlier on in the show. He's Mr. Everything. He can go 100, 400, similar to Autumn, but he's a workaholic also. He's just going to get after it and go. Matt Flood, Sage Henderson, they're my other 2 seniors. Been around for three years for Sage, 4 years for Matt, and I mean they just are constant guys. I mean they've been around, they know the program. So that's always good to have in the program. Keegan Barnes, he's someone that's going to help out in both sprints and jumps, so I'll talk a little bit about him in the jumps. Justin Lowe, he's state qualifier last year. I'm expecting big things from him. He just, once again, injuries everywhere, but I mean, I think he'll be fine. Dustin Reynolds, 400 guy. Seth Reynolds, who's our hurdler, he missed outdoor nationals by a couple tenths of a second. So, I mean, everyone's pushing. Mitch Burleson, I know, like I said, I'm going to forget someone, but I'm trying to get everyone in there. If I forget you, I'll apologize.
All right, quick briefing on the distance runners.
Once again, they're going to be headlined by our 2 national qualifiers, Blake Brooks and Salvador Campos. Those are 2 big guys who, I mean, obviously doing something right and made it to nationals, had a good experience with that. But we also have Dylan Cope, Adam Klipstein, who can come in and help out a lot. But like I said, just like the girls on the distance side, have a plethora of guys who can come in and push guys and help out and do a lot of different events.
All right, the men's jumpers.
Men's jumpers, Keegan, talked about him. He's going to be big for us in a long jump. If he keeps working the way he is, I mean, I know last year it was a little iffy, but this year he's putting in the work. I mean, he's doing everything that I can ask him, and that's big. That's a big
right.
step for him. Seth Reynolds, my hurdler, he's also a triple jumper. He has the potential. We just have to tweak some technical stuff, and he has the potential to have some big jumps in those legs, even though they're like this big around. But he's just so athletic. It's actually pretty crazy how athletic he is. But we just, like I said, have to work on some technical stuff, and we'll be right there.
All right, and lastly, the throwers.
The throwers, we have 2 this year. Tyler Hoodelbrink, who was a school record holder, and then Nick Gilmore. Nick, he's more of a discus than a shot put, so I think indoor it's not quite his time, but he'll do just fine in the shot. I mean, he's getting a lot stronger training with Tyler. And then with the weight, but discus is more of his thing. But Tyler, he's kind of all around. He can do just about anything. And I'm go back to the sprinters real quick. I knew I forget someone. Leo Cordova, he Richmond High School graduate. He's big time. He's got 3rd, I think, in the 200 his senior year, and like 4th in the 100. He's pretty big time. That's the one guy I forgot, and I knew it was going to slip my mind, but he's joined us this year, and same thing. I mean, he's been working hard, and it's been hard. He's just sat out for a couple years, but he's getting back in the swing of things.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time today, and give us an outlook on the season. Stay tuned. Wolf Center up next on the other side of the break. And welcome back to Inside IU Sports. It's time for Wolf Center, which is where we take a look back at last week's IU East results and ahead to next week's schedule. Keep up with all the latest happenings around the IU East Athletic Department by downloading the free IU East Athletics app at the iTunes App Store or at Google Play. Now joining me for Wolf Center is Red Wolves analyst Morgan Gard. Morgan, another great week in the book for our Red Wolves.
Yes, another great week and an awesome Thanksgiving as well.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, let's go ahead and break in to last week's results for the IU East Athletics Department. Starting with November 15th, a 90-73 loss for the women's basketball team at first-ranked Marian College. Sarah Cook, she had her first career double-double for the Red Wolves.
And Marian is the defending national champions. Tia King had 25 points, and like you mentioned, Sarah Cook had a double-double with 10 points and 11 rebounds.
Then on November 15th, a 92-70 loss for the men's basketball team at second-ranked Indiana Wesleyan. Aaron Thomas with 11 rebounds and 2 blocks for IU East.
And the men also took on the defending national champions and fell short to the longest winning streak in program history. Jordan Furlow had 20 points, matching IWU's leading scorer, Lane McKieran.
Then on November 18th, a 92-79 win for the men's basketball team at Miami University Middletown. Lucas Huffman scored 20 points for the Red Wolves.
And the Wolves were 36-2 advantage off the bench. Bishop Smith had 11 points, and Jacoby Claypool matched his career high with 9 assists.
Then on November 19th, a 66-46 loss for the women's basketball team against Northern Kentucky University. The game was an exhibition for IU East.
And the women were out leading scorer Tia King. However, Bailey Dryman and Krista Miller both showed up with 10 points.
Then on November 19th, the men's cross-country team was at the NAI National Meet. Blake Brooks and Salvador Campos represented the Red Wolves.
And this is IUE's sixth time in the past 8 years they have gone to nationals, and this was also the coldest meet of the season. Southern Oregon won the team championship.
All right, then on November 22nd, an 89-73 win for the men's basketball team at Fisk University. Kyle Pippinger had a career-high 24 points for the Red Wolves.
And he was 6 for 12 at the arc and made all 4 of his free-throw shots. He was only 1 point shy of matching leading scorer Lucas Huffman with 25 points.
Moving on to the schedule ahead, coming up on December 3rd at 1 p.m., it'll be the women's basketball team taking on Ohio Christian at Lingle Court. This is the River States Conference opener for the Red Wolves.
And last time out in late January, our Wolves only won by 4 points. We had 3 players in double digits. That was Tia King, Bailey Dryman, and Kerrigan Niehoff.
And also on December 3rd, this time at 3 p.m., it'll be the men's basketball team hosting Ohio Christian University. IU East and Ohio Christian were 1-2 in RSC East preseason poll.
And rightfully so, as last time out, OCU won 62-54. And I believe Lucas Huffman led the Wolves that game with only 11 points. This year, Ohio Christian is also eligible for the conference tournament.
All right, then on December 3rd at 4 p.m., the IU East track and field team will be at the University of Indianapolis season opener in Indianapolis, indoor season opener for IU East as well.
And this is only the second year for indoor track at IU East. Last year, Tricia Spivey placed 3rd in the high jump, and also returner Mackenzie Bowles made a school record in the long jump.
Then on December 6th at 7 p.m., it'll be the IU East men's basketball team at Trinity International. This is IU East's first visit to TIU.
And the Trojans have won the last 7 of their games. Their most recent game was against Benedictine Mesa, where Trinity had 4 players in double digits. And Trinity is also part of the Chicagoland Conference.
And finally, on December 7th at 6 p.m., it'll be the women's basketball team playing host to Roosevelt University at Lingle Court. IU East is 1-1 all-time against Roosevelt.
And last year was their 1 loss against Roosevelt, and with a score of 90-70, Bailey Dryman led the team that game with 17 points. However, the Wolves were only 21 for 75 at the field goal.
All right, looking forward to another great week coming up for our Red Wolves.
Wonderful week.
All right, there's your Red Wolves analyst, Morgan Gard. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
And that concludes this episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.